vinyl collection you have, Matthias.
Oh, wow.
This is my life's work. Yeah, I love it.
How many
Addicted.
do you have? Do you know how many you have?
Yeah, like 3,000, I think so.
Wow.
Love
And
it.
Dream,
meanwhile, I was waiting for you guys. I was checking on pre-ordering or ordering your new album on vinyl. So
Oh, nice one, man.
yeah,
Thank you.
I saw the one with the Obi stripe on it, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I want that as
beautiful.
well.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's so kind of you, man.
Yeah, man. So first of all, congratulations on the album. I was very impressed about what you guys did on the riffs, on the production. I'm a huge fan of Oceansize, of Biffy Clyro. So it was so refreshing for me to hear what you guys were doing.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to give you a shout out for that, and I wanted to put some emphasis on your vocal performance, the range, the screaming. Do you have to, I don't know, take like lessons to regain the activity
Yes.
from?
Yeah. So when I recorded the record, Matthias, I went in with zero technique, just rage. So I was purely channeling my anger. And I spent a couple of weeks or just over a week recording vocals, and I totally fucked my voice. So I spoke to Mike when we were discussing and doing shows. I needed to speak to someone and learn how to just get a slightly better technique that wasn't going to destroy my voice. Right. So now, after a couple of months of playing shows, I'm able to kind of access that anger and that fucking rage, but also not ruin my voice, because I want to sing melodies. I still want to come back to melodies at some point, you know.
Of course, I don't want to ruin it. Yeah.
And I got a fright when we made the record. I got a bit of a fright because I really kind of punished myself physically on making the record, and I'm really glad I did. But I need to protect my voice. So yeah, a technique with a wonderful woman called Melinda Cross, and hopefully I'm still channeling the nihilism and the fucking.
Melissa Cross, or
it's Melissa Cross.
Yeah, Melissa. Sorry, I said Melinda. Yeah.
The
Zen of Screaming. She's a genius.
She's the best. Yeah.
I think she's worked with everybody that's any good at screaming. So yeah, it was a privilege to work with her, and really helped me kind of channel in a different way, you know, physically how to do this.
Awesome. You were talking about that, and I was thinking, oh, Melissa Cross, totally. Like he has those legendary DVDs with all the guys screaming, and that's right. You can get nodules and stuff.
Yeah,
and damage your career.
For better or worse, I've never, even with Biffy, I've never really learned how to sing properly. You know, so when you step into this type of music, this type of intensity, it's really, you know, right down to Mike's guitar technique. Technique for all of us is a bit more important in this project, because we're right at the edge of things. We need to make sure we're doing it right. There's no kind of room for kind of chaos.
Yeah. Right. And similarly, I took guitar lessons for the first time since I was like 10, because I'd basically, although I'd written all, you know, the riffs and everything, I knew that when we came to play them live, that a certain drummer would want to play them 20 or 30 BPM faster. So I had to I took lessons in how to sort of develop that speed technique without getting sort of fatigued and stuff like that. Right. So yeah, man, there's always something new to learn, you know.
Every day's a school day, Matthias.
Every day's a school day. Heavy metal school day.
I can relate. So talk to me a little bit about the production. I know that you guys work on this between the Biffy Clyro tour, and you did most of the drums. There were programmed drums, and then you got Dave. So talk to me a little bit about that, how it came.
Yeah. It was all done remotely. Unfortunately, I wish there was a slightly more romantic or exciting story to tell, but because the pandemic kind of forced our hand to get our arse in gear and actually make the record. Obviously, Dave is in somewhere in California, but unfortunately, I mean that's sort of skipping forward quite a lot. We were, you know, we had to sort of ask him and then ensnare him into doing the project in the first place, which was just, you know, a crazy bit of pot luck that, you know, I programmed the demos, made it all sound like, you know, so we had a pretty good idea of how it was going to sound, but we couldn't find the drummer. So once we took the liberty of actually asking the greatest living metal drummer on the planet, and unbelievably, it came up positive. So yeah, but the actual recording, yeah, that was all done remotely.
I think Mike and Dave, or sorry to interrupt, Mike and Dave are quite specific about how Mike's guitars just sounded excellent from source. Lombardo's sound excellent from source, and we needed a little bit of help afterwards. So we used a mixer called Adam Noble. He's an incredible producer.
Yeah,
he's mixed a few Biffy records, and he managed to find this middle ground where it's produced a little, but it sounds like a fucking band. It sounds like you're,
it's raw. It's raw. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
It's so weird you say that because I tried to get into the record without reading any information about the credits on who was playing what. I know that you guys weren't in, but as soon as I hear the drum fills and the vibe, I was like, oh, this is kind of Fan Thomas, Mike Patton vibe. It's crazy. I swear, I'm not lying. I swear. And it's like, what? And then I go to read that Dave Lombardo was in it, and it was like, oh my god, it's like,
he's so recognizable, and that's so hard, especially with metal drummers. Metal drummers can sometimes have their technique and there can be replaceable. Lombardo brings soul and swing and just
the fills. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And it's unmistakably Dave. It's like that's what Mike always says. We asked for Lombardo and we got fucking Lombardo, and that was just a dream come true.
So did he write some of the parts, or he just played whatever was in the?
He kind of augmented. Mike was very specific. Mike had kind of structurally built the record. I messed around with some of the editing and arrangements, but when it was presented to Dave, the songs were kind of in their structure. And we just basically wanted Dave to do a more wilder version of what Mike was doing with his hands. So he added, he embellished, he added, he advanced the parts. But in terms of the actual movement of the songs, that was all there, but I think that made it easier for Dave to then be liberated with the songs. It was like nothing's changing here. So do the wildest shit you want, and then we can decide after. But everything he did was fucking perfect.
What kind of plans do you have? I know that you did a couple of shows with Dave, and what are the plans for this album as far as touring or whatever? What do you have in mind?
We're doing a few shows in New York next week, and then a few shows in the UK and Europe. We're not treating this band as like a band to go on tour for a year and then a year at a time. So we're hoping to come visit you in Chile at some point. We're trying to get a few gigs organized. But we've already started work on the next album. Mike already has a couple of incredible songs. So we're going to start work on the new album with Lombardo and with Naomi, who plays bass with us live. So we're going to try.
I saw her in the videos.
Yeah, she's an incredible player. So we're going to get together and keep making music and play as many shows as we can. But also, it's an extreme performance, so we don't want to kill ourselves. We want to make every gig feel like it fucking matters. So
but it makes it more special. I mean, if you get the chance to see you guys, it's gonna be super extra special. So
exactly, and I think with this, because it's such a spontaneous, it's such a sparky fucking record, and the band's sparky. If we ever get into the habit of playing these songs or get into a routine, it's going to kill what the band is. Some bands get better, some songs get better the more you play them. These songs need to be alive. They need to be almost falling apart all the time. That's where the magic is.
Yeah, you can't sleep when you're playing this stuff. You can't phone it in. You can't crack a beer and jam it out. You've got to be absolutely on your game.
Mike doesn't drink at all before the show.
No, I can't drink before these gigs, which is the first band I've ever been in where I've not drunk before a gig. But it just, I don't know. You've got to be fucking needle sharp, real precision, and that's what makes it just feel so good,
And what about the influences? What kind of bands do you have in common to make a band like this? Like, what's the band the kind of music that you hear that you share and
that's a great question, because for years myself and Mike were attracted to each other because we didn't have the same heavy music education. Mike's a few years older than me, so he grew up with the Sabbath, Maiden, and I know Sabbath's earlier than Maiden, but that kind of era of metal coming together. I kind of came in more in the 90s when you'd bands like fucking White Zombie, fucking Metallica, Black Album, like bands like Unsane. So we actually have educated each other a lot. I listen to a lot more kind of American hardcore music, like Converge, Will Haven, Dead Guy. Mike always listened to Sleep and High on Fire and things like that. So actually, we've collided a lot of our influences. We still don't love the same bands. We share a lot of love for the same bands, but we still have quite disparate tastes. But I think that's why when we come together, we know what we're trying to fucking make. So, So I didn't want to speak for Mike there, but I know that was like Maiden and Sabbath are like the big ones for him.
You're right though. It has always been like normally we're asked individually, and I guess as time goes on, we can certainly send each other things that we both love, like Full of Hell or fucking The Armed or something like that.
The Armed, yeah.
I know. There he is.
The new album's great. I loved it. Oh, that's the new one. Yeah.
Yeah, the new record. It took me a minute. It took me a minute, but it's really opened up, and I think it's their best fucking record.
I agree, man. Totally agree.
Blown away. And that's the excitement of heavy music. I love bands with fucking guitars that don't want to do exactly what's been done before. I fucking love it. Brilliant.
It's so good. It's so good to hear you say that, because I feel the same way about these kinds of bands, and I feel the same way about the your band, and it makes sense about the influences that you're trying to pass on to me. So it's awesome to hear that. Any fun memories about your visit in Chile in 2014? I think Mike was here too, right?
Oh, I was there.
You know what? We did like half a dozen shows in the course of a week. And our favorite show by far was the show in Santiago. I mean, we met a few fans in our days off as well. We went and had some beautiful steak, of course. So, we had some beautiful food, and we met a few fans. And honestly, the energy that you guys bring to the shows, I wish we could have spent longer in Chile, but the actual gig is something that we've discussed since. You guys really know how to fucking to throw a concert.
We're super passionate. Yeah. We love it.
It's fucking great. So honestly, it's been it's a real romantic memory when I think of that. And I can't believe it's been 9 years. We need to fucking change that. Back soon.
Please, you have a lot of fans here, and also you have a lot of Oceansize fans here, Mike. So
I know I met a bunch when we were over, man. I couldn't fucking believe it. I honestly couldn't believe it.
Look, I wish we lived closer.
I know. Oh, bless. Thank you.
I'm on that record.
He is as well.
I know. That's why I put it. Yeah. I don't have the vinyl. I'm sorry, but this is all I have.
Fucking right.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So it's super refreshing what you guys are doing. What about the artwork? I felt it was very interesting. Who did that?
Yeah, it's a fella called Daniel P. Carter. And he's made a lot of record covers. He's an artist. He's also like a DJ, a radio DJ over here. But he really enmeshed himself in the lyrics and everything. He references like Hieronymus Bosch's Garden of Earthly Delights. He references some Slayer artwork. There's some Heaven's Gate cult stuff. So it was the kind of negative outlook of the some of the songs he really kind of just presented in a visual way, and it really, there's many layers to it, and it really complements the record. It's bleak like the music, but there's plenty of things, beautiful little Easter eggs in there.
Yeah, I love that it's sort of inherently psychedelic as well. It would have been easy to just put a fucking skull on the front and just go, ta-da, heavy metal
or a mustache.
Exactly.
Or a mustache.
Skull with a tash.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I love that. Yeah. When it doesn't say the cover art doesn't say that much about the music, the style of the music.
No.
I believe that is so important for albums in general, because it's like a spoiler. When you see like the skull, you know what you're getting into. So
I remember buying records because of their artwork when I was younger, and like going home and thinking it might sound like this, but having no fucking idea. And I love that. I hate artwork that gives away too much of the story inside. It needs to be a companion to it, but not spoil the surprise. Of
course, it's the biggest spoiler for me, and as a collector, I'm all about that. So,
what's your forgive me for asking? Do you have what's your favorite or most cherished vinyl? Do you have your very first vinyl record or something, or a special artwork one, or a signed one?
Yeah, I've had this kind of new one from Glassjaw. I don't know if you know this guy.
Yeah,
it's like a 3-ring thing.
Oh my God.
It's like a 7-inch, a 10-inch ring, and then a 12-inch ring. It's a pain to listen to it.
Yeah,
but I think it's so interesting to get this kind of stuff on.
What
on
a genius
vinyl.
design! What a genius!
Incredible, man. That's brilliant.
It is, right?
It's like a bird within a bird within a bird.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's cool, man.
That's stunning. I've never seen anything like that.
Me neither. I've never seen that. So, yeah, that's one of the things that I cherish the most. But
it's really nice these days. See, since streaming has overtaken everything, it's really nice the effort that bands make for their vinyl, for their hardcore fans. You know, people are making an effort with the packaging, with how they present their vinyl, you know, making special editions. It's really exciting for collectors like us, you know, who obviously still are happy to buy a physical album. It's so fucking
I'm such a sucker for it. I just can't stop. I live for it, man.
Matthew, I spent 400 quid on a fucking Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion box.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It's huge.
It's huge. I've got it. I've not even finished looking through it. It's like 16 vinyl. It's fucking
they got a new Nirvana one, the Neuter one.
Yes,
it's like 400. It's crazy. But absolutely. About vinyl, I love the attention that you have to put when you listen to the record.
Yeah,
you have to flip it around. You have to be there looking at the art. It's not something that you put as background music. It's like a ritual. And
absolutely.
I love it.
I'm writing my rituals on there. It's my armed record in my vinyl.
Yeah, nice, man.
It makes you appreciate the music, the artwork, and the sound and the production a lot more. For me, it's the best feeling. So
absolutely, and you're aware. You're aware when you start listening. There's a feeling. You start the record, you know, and there's other ways that we all listen to music that sometimes you're like, I've missed the first minute of that fucking song, and that's the work. You know, I'm not here for that. I appreciate that it's reality, but I much prefer like, here we go, let's start.
Oh, guys, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. I mean, I really hope that we can have you here in Chile with this band or with Biffy or whatever. I mean, Mike, are you still doing your solo project? Are you working on something else?
I am indeed. Yeah, I'm gonna have another album out by the end of the year, all being well.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
I'm not gonna ask you about Oceansize, but
hey, if you've got a spare £1,000,000, then we can talk.
Yeah, I read some comments about that, but yeah, it's good to know that you're working on some stuff. And what about Biffy? Are you having any plans or?
Yeah, always writing. Because I don't play guitar and ESB, everything I'm writing at the moment is still. I'm compiling a bunch of ideas for Biffy. I described it earlier as the trees and the fruits of the tree of Empire State Bastard are there to eat, but I'm currently just watering the next wave for Biffy. So I'm just watering plants, so they'll start to bloom next year.
Awesome. Yeah. So do you have any new bands that are catching your attention? I know that we mentioned The Arm, but any local bands that are catching your attention?
Oh, local. There's a great band called Benefits. There's a band we're taking out in our UK tour called Benefits. And it's two guys that kind of make noise and kind of things like that. And then like a singer / kind of ranter who just, and it's really intense. It's really primal. It's not like metal or rock. It's just noisy and fucking quite abrasive and quite aggressive. It's killer. Awesome. Who else? I mean, well, The Arm, we talked about The Arm. They're not too new. There's a band called Ithaca from the UK who are an incredible hardcore band. There is Pupil Slips are really good as well. They're a really great new and Harriet from the UK.
A band supported us called Grubnap, who are a two-piece from Leeds, just fucking punishingly sludgy, but just, absolutely fabulous. I got their record, which is one side of vinyl. The entire album is one side of vinyl, and the rest is like a beautiful etching. He's a tattooist, is the drummer singer guy. It's fucking fantastic.
There's also one other band I just discovered who are Scottish, and they're called Frontier. Like Frontier, and then Frontier. So there's like Frontier with ear on the end. If you Google it, just Frontier and then metal, you'll find it. Their record is phenomenal. I sent it to Mike straight away.
I've not checked it out yet. I've got to get on that.
It's brutal. You've got to listen to it if you like your really heavy kind of technical weird shit. It's like modern metal, but presented in a way that is really fucking like carnival-esque. It's peculiar. It's peculiar.
Right.
So yeah,
thank you
totally
for all the
recommend.
recommendations. Yeah, I'm gonna check them all out.
I am Simon Neal. I am from Empire State Bastard. This is Mike Vennart. He is also from Empire State Bastard. And you're listening to La Mala Religion. Thank you. Hail Satan.